Now on WKYT News at 4:30, Election Day is here. We're live with a look at how today is going at the polls in Lexington.
Also on WKYT News at 4:30, we'll break down what you need to know about some other important Lexington offices.
And one central Kentucky county declares a state of emergency as crews work to control a wildfire.
This is WKYT News.
Good afternoon on this election day. We're so glad you're here with WKYT. There is still an hour and a half left to cast your ballot in the 2022 midterm elections.
And we have been fielding calls from viewers about high voter turnout throughout our region. And that means if you haven't already voted, you may want to give yourself plenty of time to make sure that you are in line by 6 o'clock.
WKYT's Kelsey Soto is joining us live in Lexington with a look at how today is shaping up in the city so far with the vote. And she's joining us now.
Happy Election Day, Kentuckians. We're out here outside Crossroads Church, a voting site in Lexington, who hit a few snags this morning, but things seem to be working pretty well and moving smoothly at the moment. We do expect to see an uptick as people get off work around 5 o'clock this afternoon. But let's talk about this morning. Workers tell us it all began before those polls opened at 6 a.m. Here at this location, they noticed that there wasn't any tape inside the ballot scanner. So workers were told that they could still open the polls. That scanner would still record any info that was inserted into it, and then the details would print later. Then about 9:30 this morning, there was a jam. Workers couldn't get that machine to print, so a technician happened to already be on site. They began working on it. That took about 45 minutes to get it fixed and reset. This location, though, was able to add a second scanner to help with the number of people voting, and it did help to cut down on that line, which did swell to about 300 people at one point. Some voters tell us, though, they were not going to let anything prevent them from letting their voice be heard today.
Super easy. I mean, there's a ton of people in there in case you did have questions, but the process is pretty simple. Anybody can do it. They've made it super easy. So yeah.
We talked to you last night about the Office of Attorney General, who will be investigating any claims of voter fraud. And so as of noon today, they had over 100 claims into their office. They will be investigating and looking into those. Again, polls do close at 6 o'clock tonight. And as a reminder, as long as you're in line, you will still be able to cast your ballot. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Kelsey, we appreciate it. Thank you. Some other key Lexington races include contests for coroner and county clerk. Former Deputy Coroner Larry Owens hopes to unseat Gary Ginn. Ginn has held that position since 2003. Bryson Nagessi Quinn is trying to unseat another longtime office holder, Don Blevins Jr. He's been county clerk since 2009. Republicans are hoping to tighten their control of the state legislature. Right now, they control 3/4 of both the House and the Senate. Democrats are trying to boost their own numbers. Potentially competitive races include House District 56. Midway Mayor Grayson Vandegrift is trying to unseat Republican incumbent Daniel Pfister. In House District 88, Republican Jim Coleman is challenging incumbent Democrat Sherilyn Stevenson. That district includes parts of Fayette and Scott counties.
And voters are weighing in on two potential changes to the Kentucky state constitution. Amendment 1 will allow lawmakers to call the General Assembly into session on their own. Right now, only the governor can do that. Amendment 2 would state that the Constitution does not protect abortions. That would give lawmakers more direct control over the rules. WKYT will be reporting the election results as soon as they come in tonight. You can watch our Campaign 2022 broadcast. We'll be going to the CW Lexington at 6:30 with that, and coverage from 7 to 8 on the CW Lexington as well. And we'll try to guide you along right here.
Always
right?
an exciting night.
It is.
You know,
it's
you
fun.
Just never know.
We've all studied up, and we're ready to go. But you never know until the numbers start coming in what'll happen. Now to weather. Certainly a nice day to get out there and vote.
Oh, it really is. But once we get into the weekend, things are looking to change. Let's check in now with WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Yeah, but on this election day, we are all winners when it comes to the weather. And you know what? We may be winning on Friday, too, when we get some much-needed rain. In into our part of the world. WKYT traffic camera network. We're going to the capital city of Frankfurt, where all eyes are obviously on the polls out there today, and everybody with a little extra pep in the step with that sunshine. Got it into London and across downtown Lexington. Blue skies over top of us, and that bodes well for any folks who are maybe just getting off work, getting ready to go to the polls here over the next hour and change. Radar picture, it is dry. Cloud cover, we'll throw that into the mix. A lot of clouds across the Ohio Valley, the western Ohio Valley, the Mississippi Valley, and then across the western part of the country. Folks, that's where it is honest to goodness wintertime. It's where it's been hanging out. This wintertime air, though, is going to start to press toward the east, and that's going to open up the floodgates to some really cold stuff that'll be coming out of Canada by the weekend. Before then, we've got a hurricane that is likely to hit Florida. This is Nicole. Nicole is a tropical storm, should become a hurricane later on tonight, going to bowl its way toward the west, and then it's going to turn the corner and go up the eastern slopes of the Appalachian Mountains. Guys, that is good news for us. Bad news, obviously, for Florida. We wish no ill will on anybody, but we need something to help us out in terms of the rain, especially where those fires are right now. And Friday and the cold may do just that. We'll take a look at an hour by hour in a few minutes.
All right, see you then. And something else to watch, a state of emergency has been issued for Estill County after multiple fires have spread throughout that community. Yeah, smoke continues to carry into neighboring counties, and firefighters are having a tough time getting those flames out because of these gusty winds. WKYT's Allie Blake was there with the latest.
Heavy smoke, large flames, and the sound of popping are some of the sights and sounds here on Pitts Road in Estill County. The wind continues to pick up and change direction, making it difficult for officials to extinguish.
Burn bans were put in place in the county at the time, but officials say it was sparked by a cigarette yesterday. Helicopters continue to take buckets of water to the scene, along with the local fire department. Smoke continues to plume for miles and can even be seen in Richmond and Berea. A countywide state of emergency is also in effect because of the fires. Estill County Judge Executive Donnie Watson says this puts everyone in danger.
You know, people have breathing problems. Some people have asthma, and the air, as you can see, is full of smoke everywhere. So this is drifting down into the valleys and down into town, and it can really create a lot of health problems that we normally don't think about.
Officials say the most helpful thing at this time is to get out of this area, evacuate if you need to, so that everyone can stay safe. In Estill County, Allie Blake, WKYT.
Allie, thank you. And Kentuckians are preparing to help in parts of Florida and other states ahead of subtropical storm Nicole. Kentucky Transportation Secretary Jim Gray is temporarily lifting some restrictions on utility and debris removal crews ahead of the storm. That order exempts drivers who are heading down to help with the recovery efforts from limits on driving and having to stop at weigh stations. They are also exempted from permit fees on weight and the size of their cargo. The order will remain in effect through midnight December 7th.
Some eastern Kentucky flood victims are spending hours trying to get their mail. Back in July, Hyman's post office was damaged by flooding. So for months now, people from Knott County have had to pick up and send their mail out of Hazard. It's about a 30-minute drive. Attorney Seth Combs says the whole process is a major disruption.
It kills every bit of, 2 hours probably, sometimes, more, because there's a line when you get over there. It's really frustrating because motions and pleadings and orders and stuff, they're pretty time sensitive.
Well, the building owner of the Knott County Post Office says work is almost done. They have not released, though, an exact opening date just yet.
A Rockcastle County woman convicted of a deadly dog attack has now learned her fate. Back in 2020, neighbors told police that they saw Melissa Wilkie assaulting Donald Abner at their home on US 25. She was also giving her pit bull commands to attack him. Abner died at the scene. Wilkie pleaded guilty to murder. Yesterday in court, Wilkie was sentenced to 20 years behind bars, the recommended sentence as part of a plea deal.
Sentencing is underway for a man convicted in a Lexington double murder. A jury found Antonio Gaskin guilty of killing Charmaine Carter and Marquise Harris. The two were found dead in an apartment on Alexandria Drive in 2019. Earlier this year, Gaskin requested a new trial, saying there was newly discovered evidence, but it was denied. The jury has recommended a life sentence. Monday, while celebrating the Astros World Series victory at a parade in Houston, Texas Senator Ted Cruz was hit with a beer can.
That story begins our look around the nation at 4:30. The Republican senator was on a moving float, and that's when a parade goer threw the can at him. Houston police have announced that the 33-year-old Joseph Arcidiacono was arrested in the incident. He has been charged with aggravated assault. Cruz was not hurt.
U.S. gas prices are inching upward. The average price for a gallon of self-serve regular is $3.80. That's according to AAA. Officials there say that's about a 4-cent hike from last week and roughly 38 cents more than this time last year. The least expensive gas in the U.S. in Georgia, where the statewide average is nearly $3.13 per gallon. California has the most expensive, where commuters are paying $5.45 per gallon.
This morning, folks from Champions Trace and the Barbasol Championship presented checks to 6 charities. They gave $30,000 each to Wish Foundation, the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and to Sunrise Children's Services. Both organizations say that money will help them significantly help children in Kentucky.
That's enough to actually fund 3 wishes of kids here in Kentucky. Currently in Eastern Kentucky, Lexington, Eastern Kentucky, we have 125 kids waiting for a wish, so this makes a huge impact for our kids.
These kids have been horribly abused, and we have the opportunity at Sunrise to help them find that hope and healing through our faith-based services.
To date, the charitable organization Caddy 127 has given back more than $600,000 to community charities through Caddy 127.
Bill, I'm sorry for sneezing right in the middle of your script there. Thank you. Voting is underway across the country. The issues that are driving voters to the polls.
With winter right around the corner, there's never been a better time to replace your furnace. For a limited time, purchase a high-efficiency furnace and get your air conditioner for free. Plus, don't pay anything for 12 months. Don't wait. This offer ends November 30th. Call today or go to climatecontrolcorp.com.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This Always Ultra Thin is our best yet. It wicks gushes 90% faster and absorbs even more for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort. This is triple protection from Always.
Suffering from sinus congestion, especially at night? Try Vicks Sinex for instant relief that lasts up to 12 hours. Vicks Sinex targets congestion at the source, relieving nasal congestion and sinus pressure by reducing swelling in the sinuses. Try Vicks Sinex.
That's a pretty tight spot.
Watch this.
Your Buick Park system. That's so you.
Of course you know where we're going. That's so you.
I got a 6th sense.
And a head-up display.
They're here.
You brought all these players in your Buick?
Yeah.
So you.
It is. At the heart of every Buick SUV is you.
Get 3.99% APR for 72 months and no monthly payments until 2023 on these Buick SUV models. Buick, ranked a #1 brand in the industry for new vehicle quality.
The holidays are fast approaching, and if you're like a lot of homeowners, you're starting to clean some common areas around your house to prepare for family and friends. Well, today I'm joined by BJ Worsen, the owner of West Shore Home, to find out how West Shore can completely refresh your bath space and do your entire project before Christmas, or your entire project is free. BJ.
That's right, Joe. If you need a new shower or bath, you're likely to spend hours cleaning it before family and friends arrive. So I'm going to do something special. If you need something new, give us a call, and I'm going to take $1,500 off each bath remodel project. Plus, for a limited time, like you said, I'll promise to have it installed by Christmas, or the entire project is free.
You're serious. Now, Christmas is coming up fast, but you're saying if a homeowner chooses to move forward with their project, they'll have their new shower and bath before everybody shows up for the holidays, or the whole project is free. That's amazing.
It really is. Most companies aren't even offering an installation date in the next 3 months, let alone promising to have it installed by the end of the year. And for anybody looking to get it done, now is truly the best time because we have some amazing financing options. We're doing 18 months with no payments and no interest. That means you won't have to make a payment until well into 2024 after your project is complete.
That's fantastic. Now, BJ, sometimes it's helpful to see one of these projects. Can we see one?
Sure, let's take a look. So this customer had an older fiberglass tub and shower combo. They wanted to take this out and replace it with something a little more new and more modern. This laser etched tile has become one of our most popular options because you get the look of real tile, but it's super easy to clean. And the best part is this customer was able to take advantage of that financing plan, so they don't have to worry about making any payments or paying any interest for 18 months after the installation date.
Love it, BJ. Thanks so much. Folks, call West Shore Home now to take advantage of this great offer. 18 months of no payments and no interest financing. Plus, for a limited time, they're taking $1,500 off every shower and bath project. And you heard BJ, get your shower installed before Christmas or the entire project is free. Do not delay. Call the shower and bath experts at West Shore Home now.
With winter right around the corner, there's never been a better time to replace your furnace. For a limited time, purchase a high-efficiency furnace and get your air conditioner for free. Plus, don't pay anything for 12 months. Don't wait. This offer ends November 30th. Call today or go to climatecontrolcorp.com.
Well, the candidates have made their cases, and now it is up to the voters to decide which direction our nation will take for the next couple of years.
Christian Benvenides has the latest from Florida.
Voters were out this morning in Tampa, joining more than 40 million others nationwide who cast ballots early. Mari Crespo told us family values are most important to her.
I want the next generation to be somebody who cares.
Nathan Sirianni believes there's too much extremism in politics.
A lot of people are leaning too far this way, a lot of people are leaning too far that way. I think problem is we need to find more common ground in the middle.
Nationwide, officials say a record turnout is possible for this midterm election, with every voter in America having at least one race to cast a vote. The top issues on voters' minds, according to CBS News polling, include crime, inflation, and the economy.
The reason to be going to vote today is to correct these self-inflicted wounds that absolutely were not necessary.
Voters in Columbus, Ohio, are also concerned about abortion rights.
Some of the issues that concern me as a citizen of Ohio are, of course, abortion, just the right to have autonomy over one's body.
With many races razor tight, election officials are asking for patience, saying it may take some time to count all the ballots. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Tampa.
And across the country, voters are considering more than 130 measures on the ballot, from abortion rights to marijuana legalization to affordable health care and gun rights.
Hi, everybody. Continuing to deal with a blue sky across most areas. We've been talking about those forest fires, though, that are burning into parts of Estill County, Rockcastle County, especially, and some other counties as well. We got a view of that smoke plume coming from those fires. This is right out of Estill County. We got that from our tower cam, 300 feet above our heads, and that is the smoke plume as that northeasterly wind continues to kind of blow that smoke from northeast toward the southwest. The next few days, the winds begin to switch around a little bit. They'll come at us from the south. Big storm system across the Rocky Mountains. That thing has all kinds of winter weather with it. That is going to head into a track that means near blizzard conditions from sections of the Rockies into the Dakotas, parts of Minnesota as well. On the flip side, in the southeastern corner of the country, it's a tropical system. This is Tropical Storm Nicole that is going to become a hurricane and head inland. The latest on Nicole, 65 miles per hour, gets to 75. It becomes a hurricane, Category 1. Strengthening right now, moving toward the west at around 10 miles an hour. So it's moving fairly quickly, and that means a landfall likely coming tomorrow night as it makes its way inland. And then the inland track on that is going to be right up the eastern slopes of the Appalachian Mountains, which means there's a better than even chance for soaking rains across the eastern half of Kentucky as we go into Friday especially. Let me show you what we're talking about. So we watch that weekend system. Here is the track of the low coming in near Atlanta, just to the east of that, and you can see all that rain across eastern Kentucky. Lighter rains the farther west that you get. Lexington, we're going to be kind of sandwiched between the really heavy stuff in the east, the much lighter stuff to our west. But if this thing comes a little farther west, we're in business for an inch or two of rain into parts of central Kentucky. Eastern Kentucky right now with the best chance of that. So we put this in motion, watch that front kind of sweep that system to the east. Cold air crashes in behind that, and that air is really, really cold as we go into your Saturday and into your Sunday as well, with that high pressure that makes its way on into town. So the greatest potential for the heaviest rain is going to be across the area in yellow, and especially across the east, with lighter amounts the farther west that you get. Now, if we want everybody to get on the act for some heavy rain, you want to see that track shift just a few miles farther to the west. Once that gets in and out of town, the temperatures tank, and I mean tank. Look at that. We go from the 70s the next few days to a high by the weekend into the upper 30s and low 40s and lows by Sunday morning that in a few locales can reach the upper teens.
Everybody get ready for that, right?
That's a lot to talk about in there. I mean, a tropical system, temperatures dropping, dogs and cats living together.
We could use the rain,
hysteria.
Sadly, though, on Friday.
We do need that rain, and it's a good soaking rain potential right now. Best we've had.
All right, Chris, thank you very much.
Well, the Treasury Department has announced a new rate for Series 1 bonds, an inflation-protected asset. But should you invest? The details straight ahead.
When you or a loved one is seriously injured in a car wreck that wasn't your fault, you feel like you're losing control. Hughes & Coleman is here for you.
We can get you every dollar you deserve and need. Control starts with a call. Hughes & Coleman, 800-800-4600.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job, so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get $1,500 total cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, unlock your code to claim $500 Chevy Cyber Cash. See your Kentucky Select Chevy dealers.
An official message from Medicare.
Often, things look the same. Exactly the same. Until you take a closer look. At Medicare.gov, you can easily compare Medicare plans and see the real difference. Find a plan that offers you more or saves money. Wouldn't that be nice? Plans change every year, so can your health. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Compare now at Medicare.gov.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Weekend plans?
I'm going to Vegas, baby. You should come.
I'm grounded.
You're 32.
Oh, grounded like I can't fly.
Well, I'm a real ID, so I can board any domestic flight.
If you're flying in the U.S. or visiting a military base after May 3rd, 2023, you'll need a Kentucky Real ID driver's license or an ID that's Real ID compliant. Make a plan to get yours now. Go to realidky.com.
I got to get out of here. Bye. I'll see you next week when I get back. Sorry you can't come with me.
I'm Don Stacy, radiation oncologist at the ARH Cancer Center in Hazard. The key changes being now we're able to give various forms of stereotactic forms of radiation, and that's basically giving very large doses of radiation in very few treatments. The radiation is more precise, so it's just treating the tumor and much less normal tissue gets the radiation, so it's much safer. And the cure rates are just better. Our goal here at the Cancer Center certainly is to be able to provide state-of-the-art treatment locally.
800-800-4600 is more than just a phone number. If you've been injured, it's the key to being treated fairly. Don't let the insurance company decide your future. If you want maximum compensation, call Hughes & Coleman. 800-800-4600.
Welcome back as our news continues on WKYT. One guaranteed way to beat inflation is growing in popularity, so much so that demand actually crashed a government website. And now the Treasury Department has issued a new rate for Series I bonds.
Meaning you can still get a great return on those inflation-protected bonds, but should you consider them? What experts say about this type of investment, including 3 possible downsides.
A silver lining for investors amid historic inflation? Series 1 savings bonds.
But there are people in the economy who aren't doing well. They're actually profiting from this.
Experts say the interest rates that you earn are fantastic due to the Federal Reserve's repeated moves to cool the economy and lower inflation. Analysts say demand has gone up tremendously because the I bond is protected from inflation and it offers a safe return.
So if you want to put some money into a fixed income asset that is inflation protected, I bonds might be a great strategy for you.
The Treasury Department has announced a new rate, saying it will pay 6.89% through April of next year. That's down from the bond's previously historic high of 9.62 rate, which caused demand to explode last month, briefly causing the Treasury website to crash.
The Treasury said from November of 2021 till October 28th, when the deadline for that 9.62% rate expired, $35 billion in money flowed into I-bonds. So that's people with money.
Experts say if you decide to invest in these bonds, here are some possible downsides that you should consider. 1, you can't cash it out for at least 1 year. 2, it takes 5 years to get the total amount of interest. 3, the incentive might be short-lived because the rate could come down as the Fed continues to take action. And experts remind you to invest wisely.
So I like to tell folks, don't invest any money that you don't need for at least 10 years.
For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
All right, now you know more on that. And stay with us as we have much more news ahead. A heroic 4-year-old saves his mom's life with a call. That's coming up in today's Take a Look at This.
Bring your money to UK Federal Credit Union and take advantage of this limited-time offer on certificate rates before it's gone. Offering guaranteed returns on your money, this is an opportunity you don't want to miss. Visit any of our 6 branch locations today to learn more. UK Federal Credit Union. It's banking, only better.
After my wreck, dealing with the insurance company on my own was a bust. I wanted to hit the bullseye, so I called the hammer.
Don't let the insurance company keep you from getting the money you deserve. I'm attorney Daryl Isaacs. We've recovered over $2 billion for our clients, and we're ready to hit the bullseye for you.
I hit the bullseye when I called the hammer. He got me $155,000.
Hit the bullseye. One call, that's all.
Call 877-ALL-7s.
A Medicare Advantage plan should come with all the benefits you want and zero compromises. With Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, it can. Just go to anthem.com/answers or call 855-753-3042 for a free one-on-one Medicare plan review. Ask about our $0 monthly premium plans that include dental, vision, and hearing coverage, along with transportation, a gym membership, and $0 copay for prescriptions, all for zero extra cost. Plus, you could be eligible for extra benefits to help you save even more. We have plans with up to $2,600 a year to help you pay for over-the-counter health items, groceries, and living expenses like cell phone, electric, or water bills, all on a single prepaid MasterCard you can use at thousands of locations nationwide. Call Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield at 855-753-3042 or visit anthem.com/answers and get a Medicare plan with zero compromises for you and your wallet.
Ordinary tissues burn when Theo blows, so Puffs Plus lotion rescued his nose. With up to 50% more lotion, Puffs brings soothing relief. A nose in need deserves Puffs Indeed, America's #1 lotion tissue.
When cold symptoms keep you up, try Vicks NyQuil Severe. Just 1 dose starts to relieve 9 of your worst cold and flu symptoms to help take you from 9 to 9. For max strength nighttime relief, NyQuil Severe. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, sore throat, best sleep with a cold medicine.
LexArts, fabulous at 50. To learn more, visit lexarts.org.
Start your day with Victor, Kristen, and Jim. Weekdays on WKYT Mornings. Closed captioning on WKYT is brought to you by Cumberland Valley National Bank. Bank better.
One of my favorite things to do is to be able to run to the polls to vote, which I did today. And it's always just a great day to vote, but also when the weather is a bonus, it's
absolutely
even better.
It's not nice to get out and see folks, you know. I mean, it's kind of a tense time with all the voting going on and so forth. But what wonderful weather we've had, even for the early voting leading up to today.
Yeah,
Chris.
Amber running on Election Day. No, you can't vote for her. She's just literally running. Take a look at the eastern half of the country. Beautiful weather that is with a big area of high pressure on top of the Great Lakes, southern Canada. Everybody with that mild weather, not only across the Bluegrass State, the Ohio Valley into the deep south. Then we get to the Bahamas. That is Tropical Storm Nicole, set to become Hurricane Nicole. That is going to head toward Florida. And by the time we get into Thursday night, Friday, there's a better than even chance that is going to bring rain into Kentucky ahead of a big temperature drop. We'll take a look at that, guys, at 5 o'clock.
All right, a lot to roll with this week. Thank you, Chris. A 4-year-old is being hailed a hero after his mother suffered a seizure, leaving him to call authorities to come to her aid.
It is the video that will have you talking. Take a look at this. A Wisconsin woman who suffered an incapacitating seizure says she is lucky to be alive, all thanks to the heroic actions of her 4-year-old son. Kayla Moore says that she suffered from chronic seizures for years, and when she felt a recent one coming on, she dialed 911, but it was 4-year-old Logan who talked the dispatcher through the emergency while his mother was incapacitated.
My mommy's having an episode. She's shaking her legs and her head.
Okay. Is she able to talk to me on the phone?
No.
Logan stayed on the phone until paramedics arrived to help. Local officials later honored Logan's bravery with a certificate and medals.
Wow, way to go, Logan,
Yeah,
huh? Yeah. Quick reminder that tonight you can get your news, weather, and sports an hour earlier from WKYT News. Join us at 10 tonight and every night. Of course, election coverage tonight on the CW Lexington. And don't forget, our election coverage will move to the CW at 6:30 this evening. Hope you join us then.
WKYT News at 5 starts now.
Now, WKYT News at 5. It is Election Day in the Commonwealth. We're taking a look at the major choices facing Kentucky voters today at the ballot box.
Plus, we're live with the campaigns for U.S. Senate as voters decide who will represent them in Washington.
And the candidates for mayor are preparing to track the results just blocks from each other in downtown Lexington.
This is WKYT News.
Good afternoon and welcome to WKYT News. Bill Bryant and Amber Philpott reporting on this Election Day Tuesday. And voters have just 1 hour left now to cast their ballots in today's midterm election.
Kentuckians will make their voices heard on several local races, along with 2 constitutional amendments.
Amendment 1 is about special legislative sessions. It would allow top lawmakers to call the General Assembly into session. Right now, only the governor can do that.
Amendment 2 would state the Constitution does not protect abortions. Voting yes would give lawmakers more direct control over abortion rights. We have full details on both amendments up right now on WKYT.com. Well, along with those amendments and local contests, voters are also deciding on who will represent Kentucky in the U.S. Senate in Washington.
Junior Senator Rand Paul is seeking a 3rd term from Kentucky voters. He's being challenged by Democrat and former state representative Charles Booker. Our own Garrett Weimer and Samantha Valentino are with the campaigns as they await today's results. And let's first head to Garrett with the Paul campaign in Bowling Green. Garrett, what's the mood like there today?
Well, right now we are outside the Bowling Green Country Club, not far off US 68 in Warren County. Right now, we have not been able to get inside yet. That's supposed to happen any minute now. But right now, we're just kind of camped out here waiting. Now, this is where Rand Paul is hosting his election night party tonight, expected to be joined by Congressman Brett Guthrie. Now, he represents Kentucky's 2nd district, which is much of western Kentucky, but in our area, it also includes Garrett and Mercer counties and part of Jessamine County. On our way in here, we saw a line of Rand Paul and Brett Guthrie campaign signs lining the road. Now we have some video here as Senator Paul voted this morning with his wife. They showed up around 10 a.m. local time, that is Central Time, here in Bowling Green at Cumberland Trace Elementary School, where they voted about 5.5 miles from where we are right now. Everything appeared to go smoothly. They were in and out in about 10 minutes or so, and the precinct was pretty busy out there. Paul told reporters after casting his ballot that he could feel the enthusiasm and was excited to see these crowds showing up at the polls for this midterm election.
It is the hallmark of a democracy. You know, there's a lot of chatter on television, people talking about democracy. This is democracy in action, you know, actually being able to vote, having a peaceful change of power. And I think that's what's going to happen today. Peacefully, we're going to go to the ballot and we're going to have a peaceful change in who runs Washington.
Now, it looks like doors have just opened to reporters here, so we're about to go inside and get things set up for the night. The party opens to the public at 5 p.m. Central. That's 6 o'clock Eastern, or as you know, right as the first polls are going to close across much of Kentucky. Now, we know the Paul camp is expecting some good news early on, so we will certainly check back in once we get inside. Amber, Bill.
All right, Garrett Weimer, thank you. And as we mentioned, Senator Paul is being challenged by Democratic nominee Charles Booker.
Booker is hoping to bring a new voice to the halls of Washington. This is his 2nd run for federal office. Let's go now to WKYT's Samantha Valentino. She's live in Louisville with more from the Booker campaign. Good evening, Samantha.
We are here in the Muhammad Ali Center in Louisville. This is serving as the Charles Booker campaign headquarters for the evening. And as you can see behind me, things are just getting started here. Things are slowly getting set up. The music just kicked on a few moments ago. Now, we haven't seen Charles Booker yet, but he did tell us yesterday that the overall message of his campaign is that Kentuckians need to come together as a family. He says that the issues Kentuckians are facing are not partisan, and there are shared struggles between urban and rural areas. His priorities, if elected, Booker says, include codifying voting and reproductive rights, telling WKYT that he wants to be a voice for all Kentuckians, Republicans, independents, and Democrats alike. He says his campaign hasn't been about being a Democrat, but simply about being a Kentuckian, calling his campaign an unconventional one, as he's been traveling around the state from the hood to the holler by bus. And he's really been campaigning since the Democratic Senate primary back in 2020, when he gained national attention before his narrow loss to Amy McGrath. Now Booker says he's ready to head to Washington and fight for the rights of Kentuckians. We're taking this stand for Kentuckians, regular people who have been counted out. And of course, this campaign has been counted out from the beginning. And we've been proving doubters wrong every step of the way. And now we're in a strong position to win it. And we're going to bring it home. And I'm humbled, fired up, tired too, but ready to make some history. And Booker has already made history by becoming the first Black Kentuckian to win a Democratic primary for U.S. Senate. And if he wins tonight, he will become the first Black senator from Kentucky in U.S. history. For now, live in Louisville, Samantha Valentino, WKYT.
All right, Samantha, thank you. People here in Fayette County are also voting on the city's mayor.
Incumbent Mayor Linda Gorton is seeking a second term from Lexington voters. WKYT's Chad Hedrick continues our Election Day coverage from the Gorton campaign at Lex Live downtown. Chad?
Well, Bill and Amber, good evening to you. Mayor Linda Gorton was first elected as mayor of Lexington in 2018 with a large margin of victory with 63% of the vote then, and then an even bigger victory for her in the primary back in May. She told us this morning that she is feeling really good about going into tonight and optimistic that she will win re-election for a second term. Mayor Gorton has served in various elected roles across Lexington for the last 20 years now. She continues to tout her successes of leading the city through what she believes were some of the toughest years in decades, referring to the pandemic, racial justice protests, and reforms, which she says she's very proud of bringing to the table, and also what she calls a roller coaster economy. For crime, she says as a whole, violent crime in Lexington is down 2%. And says One Lexington continues to show improvements with younger age groups. And Mayor Gorton is here tonight with Lex Live, and she is looking forward to watching the results come in with friends and family and also some supporters as well. She's not here just yet, but of course we will be catching up with her later on as those results come in. But for now, live in Lexington, Chad Hedrick, WKYT.
All right, obviously they're planning a party there, and we'll be checking in through the evening. And Mayor Gorton is being challenged by first-time City Council member David Kloiber.
Kloiber has made crime and safety in Lexington a central part of his pitch to voters. WKYT's Grayson Passmore is with the Kloiber campaign at the historic courthouse in downtown Lexington. Hi, Grayson.
Yeah, guys, we are here at Limestone Hall on top of the old courthouse awaiting the kickoff for Kloiber's watch party. Now, we did just run into him a few minutes ago. He just got here with his wife and kids. He says he's, of course, nervous, but very excited to be watching and waiting for the results here with his friends and supporters. We did also catch up with Kloiber this morning when he and his family voted at Liberty Elementary School. Kloiber was born and raised here in Lexington. It's, of course, where he stayed to raise his family as well. He became the 6th District Council member in 2020. This is his first time running for mayor against incumbent Linda Gorton. Throughout his campaign, and even as we spoke yesterday and again this morning, Kloiber has really emphasized two components. The first being a new take on the way crime is handled in the city. We've all seen the numbers and heard from voters in Lexington that this is the #1 concern for most when they head out to the polls. Kloiber's push for the group violence intervention strategy that attempts to reduce violent crime by communicating and engaging with a small number of people driving the violence through city leaders, law enforcement, and social workers. Another part of his campaign has been a big push for affordable housing, raising awareness for the spike in rent prices in the city, worried that droves of people will leave for neighboring communities with lower rent costs. Now we'll be out here with Kloiber and his supporters all night awaiting those results with him as well. We'll, of course, bring you more from that as we head into the night. Live in Lexington, Grayson Passmore, WKYT.
Grayson, thank you. WKYT will be reporting election results as soon as they come in. You can watch our campaign 2022 broadcast starting at 7 tonight on the CW Lexington. Of course, that will actually start at 6:30 as we transition into our news on the CW.
And we'll be here 6 to 6:30 with the first numbers, hopefully. We'll see.
Let's talk about a little bit of weather. It's been really a perfect day to get out there to the polls.
Yeah, the skies were clear today. We are tracking some showers moving into our region later this week and much colder weather. WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey tracking your forecast.
Yeah, that's coming in by, as you mentioned, the end of the week. In the short term, it's some really nice stuff that continues to be noted. We need the rain. That much we really know. And I think Friday has a good chance to deliver the goods for the first time in a long time. WKYT Tower Cam. We've got this zoomed up, and if you notice here, low on the horizon, that big plume of smoke, that is coming from the fires burning in Estill County. So we are a long way from Estill County here at the station, obviously, but our 300-foot, our camera that's 300 feet above our heads on our tower has a good view of the smoke. Now, the winds are coming from northeast to southwest right now, so pushing that smoke out of Estill County toward Berea and into Rockcastle County, where we've got some fires burning there as well. Radar picture dry. We've spent a lot of fall with a radar picture like that, haven't we? Big storm system in the west going to bring near blizzard conditions to the Dakotas, parts of Minnesota at the same time. Nicole, a tropical storm developing into a hurricane. Guys, this is going to head toward Florida, the Atlantic coast of Florida, not the Gulf. And eventually, I think that's going to bring rain into central and eastern Kentucky. A good soaking rain for some of us. We'll take a look at that and the cold that comes in behind it in a few minutes.
All right, we'll see you soon, and we thank you. And now to a story that's getting national attention. We're learning some new information about the UK student who is charged for racially assaulting a black student. The Associated Press says Sophia Rosing withdrew from the university today.
Video shows her racially and physically assaulting Kyla Spring. This video has gone viral. Rosing is now out on bond. WKYT's Kelsey Soto has an update from some of the student organizations rallying around the victim and now starting a dialogue about improving campus and it being more inclusive.
The University of Kentucky launched its own NAACP chapter within the last few years. The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People is the nation's oldest and largest civil rights organization. President Ja'Cory Tinsley said in a statement Monday that it is their responsibility as a college chapter to uplift and promote safe spaces for all minority students on campus. He goes on to say they stand in solidarity with the victim and are here for any and all students who may have experienced a similar incident on campus. In a march against racism Monday night, students spoke out in frustration of the university's response.
It's because it's not being handled. The University of Kentucky is not taking this seriously, and that's evident in all the emails that they sent, and they're justifying this incident under free speech. But free speech does not justify hate speech, and your access to those rights is nullified when you are infringing upon someone else's rights.
The NAACP of Lexington is hosting a virtual town hall on Wednesday night to address racial violence and anti-blackness on campus. Several guest speakers are expected, and they're hoping to continue conversations about building up the community. In Lexington, Kelsey Soto, WKYT.
Voters are making their voices heard in what could be record midterm turnout. Coming up on WKYT News at 5, what's at stake and what voters are saying on this election day.
WKYT is informing you for the 2022 midterm election. The news you need leading right up to the polls. Results in real time, trusted, and accurate. Your home for Election Day coverage.
Years ago, the Good Feet store put me in one of their TV commercials. I wasn't able to do something that I loved because of my foot pain. I wasn't able to go on hikes. I got these arch supports years ago, and they're still kicking. They are still really helping and still making such a difference, and I just want to clamber around on these rocks, bounce around like a little billy goat. That's what I want to do. I'm Moira, and this is my Good Feet story.
See for yourself with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
The Ageless Center has 40 years of results. Stephanie lost over 130 pounds, 170 inches, and is no longer pre-diabetic or hypertensive. Call the Ageless Center at 859-335-1330 today.
I'm on a mission to talk to people about getting screened for colon cancer and hear their reasons why. I screened for my son. I'm his biggest fan. If you're 45 or older at average risk, you have screening options, like Cologuard.
Cologuard is non-invasive and finds 92% of colon cancers. It's not for those at high risk. False positive and negative results may occur. Ask your provider if Cologuard is right for you.
Everyone has a reason to screen for colon cancer. If you're 45 or older, get started at missiontoscreen.com.
Ordinary tissues burn when Theo blows, so Puffs Plus lotion rescued his nose. With up to 50% more lotion, Puffs brings soothing relief. A nose in need deserves Puffs Indeed, America's #1 lotion tissue.
When cold symptoms keep you up, try Vicks NyQuil Severe. Just one dose starts to relieve 9 of your worst cold and flu symptoms to help take you from 9 to none. For max strength nighttime relief, NyQuil Severe. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, sore throat, best sleep with a cold medicine.
Catch Cash Daniel every week talking with local athletes about what they do outside their sport and in their communities on Players Corner Off the Bench with Cash Daniel. Every Thursday only on Everyday Kentucky on WKYT. Brought to you by UK Federal Credit Union.
Watch WKYT live on your Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV.
My name is Abigail Walker. My husband was killed. We need justice. I want you to help me.
Yeah, no worries. Who killed him?
The new sheriff?
Oh, bad idea. I got big plans for this place.
No one knows who he really is. He must be stopped. One way or another.
Walker Independence. New series this Thursday at 9/8 Central. Only on the CW.
Welcome back in. Control of Congress is at stake as voters in precincts across the country head to the polls.
Natalie Brand is on Capitol Hill with more details about a potentially record-setting election.
Long lines at polling locations across the country, a sign 2022 could set a record for midterm elections turnout.
We have a lot of problems right now in the country right now, so it's very important to vote.
Bag of Doritos, $5. Let's say $5 a gallon of diesel, $5, $4 for a gallon of gas. Should we keep going?
Inflation and the economy top of mind for voters nationwide. And in the key states, that could determine the balance of power in Congress. In one of the most closely watched races, Republican Mehmet Oz and Democrat John Fetterman, battling for the open Senate seat in Pennsylvania, both cast their ballots today.
Both sides are so polarizing right now, it's hard to determine where the middle is. And it's just crazy the way things are going, the way people are at each other's throats about every little detail about everything.
Control of the U.S. Senate is still anyone's guess headed into tonight. Republicans would need to win a net of just one seat. Polling in the lead-up shows the U.S. House is poised to flip to GOP control. Dozens of House seats are considered competitive, with a number of Democrats vulnerable in swing districts nationwide. The final CBS News Battleground Tracker shows 6 Senate races are a toss-up.
In general, what we see is a lot of people voting. We see high turnout.
In the closest races, elections officials are advising it could take days for results to be known. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And on this election day, we are all winners when it comes to the weather. We had absolutely picture-perfect skies out there. Temperatures were a little chillier than the past couple of days. That wind had a little bite to it from time to time, didn't it? Next few days, we mild it up, then we wild it up, and then we turn it colder. Let's get into it. 9 different sky cams late on your election day. Everybody with that blue sky for the better part of the day. Radar picture dry throughout the bluegrass state. Let's bounce it out, see what kind of trouble we can find. High pressure, southern parts of Canada. Chilly weather across the Great Lakes and northern Ohio Valley being replaced by the milder air that is surging in ahead of this big storm system coming out of the Rockies. That's going to produce the snows into the Dakotas and Minnesota and much of the Rockies. Also off the eastern coast of Florida, the Atlantic coast of Florida, near the Bahamas, is Tropical Storm Nicole. Nicole is going to become a hurricane and may bring rain to Kentucky. Wednesday, temperatures take off. Upper 60s, low 70s, mix of sun and clouds. Not quite as windy as what we had out there today. Winds are still going to be a player. Look at this spiraling band of clouds. Notice the southern edge of this doesn't have as much cloud cover as what we're seeing in the north. There's a little wind shear on the south side of our system, so it's a little bit lopsided. Most of the wind and the precipitation with clouds are on the northern edge of this. This is our tropical storm, 65 miles per hour, going to become a hurricane as it gets ready to head toward Florida with a landfall. And the track on this, we kept saying yesterday, I thought the Hurricane Center, they were too far east with that track offshore all the way into the Atlantic. Well, now they're backing that back to the west, and that makes much more sense. All the computer guidance is pointing in that direction. The trough coming in from the west is just a little slower, so that would argue for this system to be a little farther west. That's why we were talking about the rain chances across eastern Kentucky. And you could see that low noon on Friday. Look at all the rain across central and especially eastern Kentucky. What is left of that goes up the eastern slopes of the Appalachian Mountains, and then the cold kicks in as you go into Friday night into Saturday. That's going to carry you into Sunday as well. So rainfall from this across the area I've highlighted in yellow. Everybody in this area has the chance for an inch of rain. We're going to have some areas of eastern Kentucky that may pick up 2 inches of rain Thursday night through the day on Friday. How about that? Now, it's going to have a sharp cutoff on the back edge of this. Farther to the west, you may not see as much rain, for instance, west of Frankfort, but you get into central Kentucky, we're going to be right on that dividing line between some light stuff and some really heavy stuff. We hope that trough slows down coming in from the west, allowing that system to come a little farther to the west. That would be beneficial to everybody. Oh, and then there's your cold. 42, 40, 40, 42, lows around 20, blah, blah, blah.
All right. Well, we definitely need the rain.
We do.
So that will be a bonus.
And in eastern Kentucky, I think they're going to cash in regardless. Central Kentucky, too.
Okay.
All right. And then the cold for everybody.
That's right.
All right. Yeah. Stay with us, everybody. We'll have much more WKYT news and election coverage in just a moment.
WKYT, recognized by the Kentucky Broadcasters Association for the best sportscast, best weathercast, and Rookie of the Year 3 years in a row. And congrats to Dave Baker on his induction into the Kentucky Mike Hall of Fame. Thanks for trusting WKYT.
You didn't live this strong, this long, to get put on the shelf like a porcelain doll. But 1 out of 2 women over 50 will suffer a fracture from osteoporosis. You should know you can build new bone with Evenity for postmenopausal women with osteoporosis at high risk for fracture. Ask your doctor if you can do more than just slowing down bone loss with Evenity. Want stronger bones? Then build new bone. Evenity can help in just 12 months. Evenity is proven to reduce spine fracture risk by 73%.
Evenity can increase risk of heart attack, stroke, or death from a cardiovascular problem. Do not take Evenity if you have low blood calcium or are allergic to it. Serious allergic reactions and low blood calcium have occurred. Tell your doctor about jawbone problems, as they have been reported with Evenity, or about pain in your hip, groin, or thigh, as unusual thigh bone fractures have occurred.
Don't let a break put you on a shelf. Talk to your doctor about building new bone with Evenity.
We open them and pour them out. Hearts are important, and we at Cleveland Clinic put all of ours into treating the most complex heart cases.
The passion they had, the confidence, knowing they could fix me was second to none. I should have come long before.
For every diagnosis, for every heart, for every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic. If you've been diagnosed with a heart condition, call 833-856-CARE.
You can help us bring hope to our less fortunate neighbors in Appalachia by participating in our Cyber Barrel Drive.
Donate at WKYT.com/Mission of Hope now through November 30th. WKYT Mission of Hope Cyber Barrel Drive.
turn hard-working days into happy nights. With the #1 selling brand in America, Real Steel. Find yours at over 10,000 local steel dealers.
Gates Hyundai, only 17 minutes from Richmond Road on the bypass in Richmond.
Start your day with Victor, Kristen, and Jim. Weekdays on WKYT mornings. Big storm or clear skies, you need to be prepared for whatever is out your door. That's why WKYT First Alert Weather is alerting you first. Every weekday on Facebook Live. Brought to you by Fayette Heating and Air. Closed captioning on WKYT is brought to you by Cumberland Valley National Bank. Bank better.
Welcome back in. We're tracking some other news happening around Lexington on this election day. New at 5, 2 people are facing charges in connection to an armed robbery in Lexington.
Police say 19-year-old Seneca Jones and Joseph Jackson robbed Ignited Vape, the shop there, last month at gunpoint. That's just off Richmond Road and right by the Kroger. Police say the store owner detained one until the other suspect fired a shot at the owner. The owner did receive some minor injuries. Jones and Jackson got away, but they were both arrested during a traffic stop last week, and they're charged with robbery and receiving stolen property. Jackson is also charged with wanton endangerment.
Also new at 5, we're learning information about 2 shots fired calls in Lexington that first happened early Sunday morning. Police received several calls of shots fired in the area of Vero Court. That's near Autumn Ridge off of Todd's Road. Police say the victim saw someone in a car that didn't belong to them. The victim then chased after the suspect, who then fired shots at the victim. No one was hurt. Then early Monday morning, police received a shots fired call near Santee Way, near Palomar. They say someone stole the victim's vehicle. The victim chased after the vehicle. The suspect fired shots. The victim had minor injuries, but not related to the gunshots. Officers are checking surveillance in both of those areas, and they say if you have any information, to call police.
Well, someone in California woke up a billionaire today.
Yeah, and whoever it is, they won a record $2.4 billion Powerball jackpot. The winning numbers were 10, 33, 41, 47, and 56. The red Powerball was 10. This jackpot was the largest lottery jackpot ever won. Now, although no one in Kentucky won that big prize, there were still 4 lottery winners. The Kentucky Lottery says one person won $100,000 and 3 people won $50,000 prizes. 2 of those winning tickets were bought in Lexington, one at the Minute Mart on Town Center Drive, the other at the Leestown Road Kroger. So at least some winners close to home.
Exactly. We'll be waiting to see if we find out who they are. Well, WKYT News at 5:30 is on the way next. And a reminder that we'll have your full campaign 2022 coverage tonight on the CW Lexington. Our special election night coverage will begin at 6:30 with a special at 7. You can also watch the team you know and trust on the CW Lexington at 10 o'clock tonight. We'll be wrapping up the results we have. Stay with us now. There's much more news right here.
It's a simple truth. Everything's better with baby back ribs, tailgates, dad jokes, your wedding day. And now, any one of your barbecue favorites at Sonny's. Because for a limited time, you can add a half rack of baby backs to any entree for just $7. Or go full rack with our signature baby back rib plate, served with 2 sides and bread for just $18.99. Sonny's Barbecue, local pit masters since '68.